Greetings. My name is Ujo Wajet, and today I'm going to be doing collective energy readings for Winter Solstice 2022. I am really excited to get into this, and the first thing I'm going to do is start shuffling some chakra cards. I'm using these chakra cards here, and I'm going to pull a chakra card. I'm going to pull a theme, an overall theme card for the winter solstice. Then I have cards pulled for the beginning, the middle, and the end of winter solstice, plus a couple of bonus cards. And then if you stick around till the end, you might get a live reading from me. So if you haven't done so already, go ahead, sit back, take notes, or if you pull cards yourself, go ahead and grab them. Let me know what you come up with, and I'm going to share my insights with you. So let's dive into overall chakra for this upcoming winter solstice. Ooh, we have the throat chakra. So what I'm going to do during the cards that I pull, I'm going to show you how this chakra works with all the other cards, how it intersects. And let me go into, and in case you don't know, the throat chakra is all about communication, right? So your throat chakra is here. Now, when it comes to communication and creative expression and speaking your truth, this particular card is what this represents. And this is going to come up quite a bit for you during this upcoming season. So that's something I want you to pay attention to. If you're not familiar with the throat chakra, and I feel like some of you might be I'm like picking up on like congestion or kind of like getting sick. So sometimes if you're noticing you're getting I'm hearing like something about bronchitis, things with like the airway and the lungs. So this is also coming up, which kind of makes sense because with the throat chakra and the element that it represents, which is air, the winter season tends to be a time where people start to get sick. So strengthening your immune system at this time would be something, and that's something you can start now. What things can you do to rest more is what I'm hearing and seeing, like more rest, more quality rest, right? It's all about the quality of the rest. Drinking more fluids, taking more vitamins, and eating more fresh fruit, which as it gets colder, we tend to avoid these like cold foods. But eating fresh fruit is what I'm seeing a lot of. Whatever fruit is seasonal for you during the winter solstice or winter season, or wherever you're at in the world, right? Like whatever fruit is seasonal for you right now, this would be a good opportunity to start doing that because there's natural antioxidants and vitamins and minerals in the fruit. Fruit specifically, fresh fruit would do you really well. Even if you get the fruit frozen and then you thaw it out and you add it in like a smoothie or something like that. But chewing the fruit is what I'm seeing. So that also helps with this particular area. So I don't know who needed to hear that, all that extra information, but that is for you. Welcome, welcome. Greetings. So that is the theme, right? That is the chakra card right now for winter solstice. So let's go into the theme. So the overall theme is the Fool. Okay. Now with the Fool card, so it's interesting because I cannot ignore the fact, the full moon will not let me ignore the fact that it's a full moon today. And it's a full moon. And I was wondering as I was preparing for this, why everything has two meanings. Everything is twofold. Everything is twofold. Then when I looked up what the moon is actually in Gemini. And I'm like, well, here we go. Everything is about duality right now. Gemini represents twins and everything is twofold. So as I pull these cards and go over these cards with you, I'm going to share the dual meaning and what that's going to look like as you navigate the winter solstice. So the Fool right now it's coming twofold. First is don't be a damn fool. like pretty like just pretty straight up, like stop doing stupid shit. Like for real. like don't do that. What are you doing right now that's got you looking like a clown? Like please stop. please please stop that. I am not exempt from this, by the way. so so what are you doing right now? What are you doing? Or who has you out here looking stupid? Who has you out here running around and you that you're doing too much for them? Stop it. Stop. Stop getting played. Stop being out here wasting your time on other people that don't deserve your time, that don't deserve your energy. Like, please stop. And just because it's starting to get colder outside, as this, seasonal depression and seasonal affective disorder, these things start to pop up, or even just a shift in your mood in general. That is common in the colder months, at least I'm in the northern hemisphere. So just keeping that in mind, we tend to want to do things. Maybe you're entertaining people that you don't need to be entertaining because you're feeling lonely or you're feeling a bit sad, right? And this kind of goes back to what I was sharing with a lot of things around fresh fruit and hydration and rest. That's going to really be beneficial too when it comes not just for your throat chakra or reducing the chances of sickness, because this is all about protecting the airway in general. Okay. But this also can help when it comes to nourishing your body to maintain not only your physical health, but to help support your emotional and mental health as well. Right? It's not going to fix the things for you. It's supportive in that. So what could potentially happen is like you would making decisions that you typically wouldn't make because you don't want to be alone, or you're feeling a bit depressed. But and that's the first part of it. It's like, okay, don't be the fool. But on the other end, so this is twofold, right? Is the fool also represents, look at the number here, is 0. It's new beginnings, it's new opportunities. So how can you reframe this? It's like, well, okay, I'm feeling lonely, or I'm not happy with where I'm at in my life right now. Or you're recognizing that, you want something different. That doesn't mean you have to make a decision out of fear, out of like, that's reactionary, right? So those are the type of choices and decisions you want to stay away from, right? Fear-based, reaction-based decisions and choices. And somebody, I don't know who this is, feel free to reveal yourself. I don't know if you're watching this live or if you're watching this later. I feel like I'm seeing three people. Let him or her or them go. Let the person go. Like, stop holding on to a relationship. Like, please stop. Don't stop doing it for the kids. Stop doing it for the keeping up appearances. Like, some of y'all, this is an opportunity to start the new beginning. And you might feel stupid in the process because it's like, well, damn, I done spent all this time. I done put all this time in, and now I'm out here looking crazy, and I don't have my boo, and I don't have this little title that was holding me down. I felt I value myself more because I had this relationship, because I could say that I'm with somebody. Please stop. No. No, it's time to let it go. It's time to let it go. We are reframing this into what is the opportunity here. And I'm hearing self-love right now. Self-love, self-nourishment, self-liberation. Let me say that again. Self-love, self-nourishment, self-liberation of the emotions and finances too. So if you are, and this is kind of coming up so let me bring in the what's going to happen in the early part of the winter solstice. So like I mentioned, this is how I break it down. I did the chakra card. This is the overall theme. Then I have the beginning, middle, and end of winter. And then I have a couple of bonus cards. All right. So with that, let me just pop in greetings, greetings. Hello, hello. Hey, how are you? How are you? So let's bring in beginning of winter. So this is where the finance part comes in. So we have this is the 10 of Pentacles. Pentacles represents uh, earth, the element of earth. It represents money. It represents the aspects of like how you're spending your money. And so it's interesting that this card comes up. This also kind of makes sense that because the 10 of Pentacles is all about tradition and holiday, like this card specifically kind of represents that. But what's been coming up is stop spending so much damn money. Like stop. like, like calm down. Put your wallet on ice, please. Okay. Put your wallet on ice and take a moment and really be thoughtful and intentional about what you're spending your money on and who you're spending it for. Are you doing it because you're bored? Are you doing it because you feel like this obligation to do it because of the holidays, mandatory gift giving and stuff like that? And I feel like another thing I need to address for those of you, if you're at a point in your spiritual journey or your self-discovery journey where you're unsure about how you feel about the holidays anymore, like maybe it doesn't resonate with you in the way it used to, and so now you're kind of like, well, you're feeling some kind of way, but you don't know how to get out of it, right? You don't know, you're not at a point where you're ready to fully express it, but you're feeling something internally, like this shift of this, like this doesn't make sense, or I'm not vibing with this, or you want to celebrate things in a different way. This is a great time for you to do some reflection on just for yourself. Don't feel like you have to put all your business out there yet if you don't feel confident enough in where you stand with it yet, which is fine. But I feel someone needs to hear that, like, it's okay to experience that transition and feel like, okay, like you kind of feel stuck in between these, knowing that this doesn't resonate with you anymore, but not sure fully like what that means and what that's going to look like. This is an opportunity for you to do some inner work, to do some journaling, to just start writing down the things that no longer feel true for you anymore, or that give you a certain feeling in your body that it's just like, this doesn't feel good in my body anymore. Like this doesn't feel good in in my spirit, in my heart. And then you feel torn because it's like, oh man, this is a family tradition and you don't want to disappoint your family, or you want to do this for other people. You can do it for other people, but don't lose yourself in the process. Again, so don't be the fool with it, but on reframing the fool with, what is the opportunity here? And this might take you some time to transition out of celebrating the holidays in the way that you have, right? This could take some time, and that's okay. But I felt that needed to be addressed. So this is a way that it can come up. Sometimes it could be a lot of pressure. And so you compensate by overspending, or you allow yourself to stay distracted, or you feel obligated, right? So what is the way that you can start to transition out of that? Maybe it's every other year you celebrate, or you have a bit more boundaries around it. So just something for you to explore, but do the inner work. And for those of you that do celebrate the holidays and you're at a point like, and you love the holidays, that's great. Be mindful of the overspending, or it's more about the intentionality behind the spending, or feeling like you have to, like, it shouldn't be about the dollar amount. It should be about the actual intention behind what you're giving. And some of these things don't actually need to be purchased. They could be created. So for whatever reason that's coming up, and this is an opportunity for you to start to reevaluate your money in the beginning of winter. Like, what do you want this? Like, what is your money doing for you? And what do you want it to do? Because if that's not in alignment right now, this is an opportunity for you to, again, overall theme is transitioning out of the fool and becoming more of like looking at the new opportunity. So what is the new opportunity here? And it's not just about spending, but it's also about how you receive money as well. If people want to give you stuff, right? And you keep, and this isn't even just about giving you monetary things. It could be a compliment. It could be an act of service. Somebody wants to do something for you and they have a good intention, because that's also a gift. But you keep saying no. Somebody says they find you attractive and you be downplaying it. Like, why do you do that? Stop doing that. If you're moving and somebody is willing to help you, and they're like, no, well, I know you're busy, and you keep turning down the support and the help, stop doing that, please. What are you doing? You have to learn how to receive just as much as you give. So if you are over giving, sometimes that means you tend to have a problem receiving, and you're over giving or overspending, over giving money, time, energy, okay? Because you want that in return. But you're not going to get that in return unless you stop giving so much, like until you start receiving more. So does that make sense? I'm going to pause it and check the comments here in a minute, just to check in and see how we're feeling about the chakra card, the overall theme card, and then the card for the beginning of winter. But I want to make sure, because this reading's a bit different from the other readings, because everything is twofold, because Gemini is out here in these streets. So so let me know if that makes sense. Let me check in. Greetings. Happy full moon to you as well. It's difficult too with having children in the holidays, and how I should go about it with them. Yeah. Yeah, and that's something, create something new. Yeah, I think, and you have an opportunity to, thank you. You have an opportunity to recreate what this holiday could look like for you. So, and maybe you still want to celebrate it, but maybe you're doing it in a different way, or you're revealing you telling certain things, like what is the real truth about the holidays that resonate with you. What are you learning about the holidays, or certain holidays, that now maybe you want to start sharing these things? So just something to consider. Maybe you're introducing other ways to, like, celebrating other holidays, or creating your own holiday. I create my own holidays. I don't, who decided? Like, just somebody. Like, why don't you create your own? Like, your birthdays and anniversaries, like, that's it. That's all we got. Like, no, we all can manifest things and create things. It's like, you can decide what you want to do. So that's the opportunity, right? So something to keep in mind. Okay, let's go into the middle of winter. Middle of winter, we have the King of Wands. So I'm really here for this King of Wands right now. So the Wands is a suit that represents fire. And this aspect of the King of Wands, whenever we have, and this is considered a court card for those, if you're not familiar with tarot. And so with court cards, I look at things through the positionality of each card, in the court cards. Look at the suit, right? Look at the what is the role that the king plays, right? So what is this going to look like? So this is about responsibility. This is about authority, and how you're showing up in this element of fire. And I love that we're getting this fiery energy in the middle of winter. Why? Because now, like, this is about, like, transmuting. So you're taking all the stuff, whatever's happening here, okay? And now it's like, because some of you ain't gonna listen. Some of you gonna get caught in the trap. And then it's gonna be like, okay, now let me own the choices that I've made, whether they're choices you're happy with or choices that you're not happy with. Some of you are going to take this information and use it, and make some changes, right? And you have to own the choices that you make, own your decisions, own the things that you're going to do, but also you have to continue to follow through with action. Wands is about taking action. It's about doing the work. It's not about just talking about all the things. And this brings me back to the chakra card for this season, which is the throat chakra. It's about communication, creative expression, speaking your truth, right? But we're in Gemini, full moon right now. So Gemini's like, okay, what about the other side? Sometimes y'all be full of shit. Like, stop being like, how many times do you lie to yourself? I did a video. I made a video here on my YouTube channel about, are you lying to yourself again, or something about that, right? Like how many times are you going to do that? So just be mindful. Don't say what you're not going to do. I mixed that up. Don't say what you're not going to do. Don't say it. Not even to your damn self. Because we can say things to other people and lie and have the best intentions, or, you know, we say what we hope to do, but you're not saying what you're actually going to do and what you're willing to do. You see what I'm saying? So it's easy to start to make the decisions, and, you know, there's the what is it? The resolutions, the New Year's resolutions, and people like do stuff like that. And when the new year starts, you know, if you celebrate the new year, if you believe that the new year is January, if that's what when you celebrate it, then it's like, what? Well, first, why are you waiting till then? Because your new beginning really can start right now. It can start any day you want it to. It doesn't have to be on this particular day. And also, how many times have you done that in the past? Look at your track record. So going to ownership, when it comes to King of Wands, ownership of your actions, look at your track record. How many times have you said you're going to do the thing and then you don't do the thing? How many times have you owned up to that responsibility of like, okay, I did say I was going to do this and then I didn't follow through with this because this, that, and the other. This isn't about having a pity party about it. What this is about is looking at, okay, this is the track record. Now what? What is the new opportunity here? What am I going to do with this information now? What action am I going to take moving forward now that I have this information or this clarity and this understanding of like, okay, I did the thing. And this goes both ways. It's not just about things that you didn't do, but also honoring and owning up to the things that you're doing amazing at. Like, be proud of your damn self. Be proud. Celebrate the things that you are doing well in, that you are really good at. Celebrate the things that you enjoy. Do that too. So this isn't about just beating yourself up or, you know, assessing all the things that you're not doing. You need to celebrate just as much as you assess the things that aren't working. It goes both ways. Everything is twofold right now in this season, because this is the last full moon of this season. So anytime, and this is how I look at things. So when it comes to nature, right? Whenever we're transitioning in from one season into another, that is amplifying any other transition that you want to make in your life. So I try to align with nature, right? And if there's a transition happening in nature, that's going to amplify any transition that you're wanting to have in your life. What does that look like? What do you want that to look like? You can start thinking about these things right now. So by the time you get into the middle of winter, it's like, okay, let me own this. Let me own the things that I am doing, good, bad. And it's not even about good or bad. Is it in alignment or is it out of alignment? That's what it's about. Celebrate, assess. Is this in alignment? Is this out of alignment? Is this in alignment with where I want, with the direction that I want to take? Or is this out of alignment with the direction that I want to take? Is this in alignment with who I want to become or the person that I'm becoming and wanting to be? Or is it out of alignment? That's what it is. It's not about good or bad. Let's go into the end of winter. Seven of Pentacles. So the Pentacles are out here in these streets today. Seven of Pentacles. And after I go over this card, I'll do another check-in. So if you have any questions, or if you have any comments or anything that you want to share, anything that resonated with you based off of what I've covered so far, you can start dropping those in the comments right now. So Seven of Pentacles. Assessment, which I was talking about a lot. Reflection. Decisions about how you want to manifest, how things are showing up and growing for you right now. Because here's the thing, right? You can say all the things, you can half do the things, but what are the results though? The results are going to show up. The outcome, whether it's your desired outcome or not, is going to show up in the end of winter. So like a popular example would be, let me not say popular, a common example would be you were wanting to prioritize your health a bit more. You wanted to start exercising more. You wanted to start traveling more. You wanted to save more so you can start traveling when it starts getting warmer outside. You wanted to start that certification so you could start applying for new jobs in the spring. But then you really didn't do all the things. And then you're just like looking at, oh, well, now what? Like, I'm actually not set up in the way that I need to be for, like, I'm not where I want to be. It goes the other way around as well. Whatever you put into this season now, whatever you put into winter solstice now, that's going, like, the results are going to show up for you by the end of it. And you'll be able to take that into the next season. You'll be able to take that into the spring equinox. And this is the opportunity now. Are you going to be out here wondering what happened and start complaining? Or are you going to be at a point where you are really satisfied with the changes and the progress that you made? And this isn't about perfection. This isn't about like making sure you cross every T and dot every I. What this is about is being intentional about the changes that you want to make. And also managing the expectations of what that could look like. And that's going to happen throughout the course of the winter season. Start to manage your expectations. There's a difference between what you, like, best case scenario and what you hope to achieve versus what you actually have the capacity and the time and the energy to do. And what actually makes sense for you based off the season that you're in. I've talked about this in several other videos before. So you don't want to get to the end of the season and be wondering what just happened or this was such a blur. This is an opportunity for you now to be able to be intentional, take ownership, be mindful of your giving and receiving habits and boundaries with people, with money, with your emotions, with your time. So that way you can look on at the end of the season and have something that is fruitful. And this being fruitful thing that I'm mentioning is not just about having all the things. Sometimes being fruitful is letting shit go. Sometimes you got to declutter things out of your life, mentally, physically, emotionally, so you can create space to receive more. So again, that's this twofold thing that's been coming up. All right, so let me just check in. How are y'all feeling about what has come up so far? And I have a bonus card for you as well. And I'm gonna do just a quick recap here of the cards that I pulled. Then I'll pull the bonus card, and then I will pick a couple of people to do some readings for. And that will be kind of at random. So yeah, so let me just go over here, go over this. The chakra card for winter solstice is the throat chakra. And if you're just tuning in, catch the replay where I break all of these cards down. The overall theme is the Fool. Beginning of winter, Ten of Pentacles. Middle of winter, the King of Wands. The end of winter is the Seven of Pentacles. I'm also hearing right now investing. The end of winter is a time to start thinking about of investing. What do you want to invest in? So that's another thing. Bonus card. So this was a jumper that came out. And this is something that you want to take into consideration moving into this winter season. So the Queen of Cups, this element, so we have another court card. So it's the second court card we have. And the cups represent the element of water, if you're not familiar. And it also governs the emotions. So it's interesting that this card came up, especially in how it relates to the throat chakra. You might have a situation or two where you need to start expressing how you feel, whether it's about a person, whether it's about a situation, whether it's your opinion. Maybe your opinion about something has changed and now you need to actually let some people know so you can establish some boundaries. It might be time for some personal space. It also might be time to actually bring people in. It just depends on where you're at, whichever one resonates with you. However, take your emotions and how you're feeling into consideration with everything that you're doing. And I'm not talking about the surface level emotions. I'm talking about going deeper. This is about going, like, what is the root of the emotion? Like, where does this really stem from? Earlier I mentioned, is this like fear-based? Is this, are you reacting? Or are you making decisions and navigating from a place of sincerity and integrity, personal integrity for what you truly want, not what you think other people want for you, not what society believes that you should do or have. No, it's like, what do you truly want for you? Who are you? What are you doing this for? What are you making this decision for? And how does that feel when you consider, when you're stuck between two choices, you're not sure if you should say yes or no, or you should go this way or that way. Tune into how you feel. How does your body feel? When you think of one decision, does it make you feel heavy and weighed down? Or do you feel light? Do you feel expansive? So use your emotions as a guide to determine what's going to be the best decision for you. Because sometimes we just move, we're like in survival mode and we just move out of that. But your emotional your emotional aptitude, right? That needs to be, you need to tune into that, lean into that. And I mentioned earlier, with as it gets colder and the days, we have darker days. We have less light during this time in the northern hemisphere. Sometimes you kind of have to lean into your emotions in ways that, even when you don't want to, like, your emotions are there. You can't run away from your emotions. You can try for a while, but then this tends to be the season where your emotions catch up with you. And it can go one way or another. It can consume you, or you can take those emotions, understand where they stem from, seek support if you need it. So if there's some things that come up for you emotionally, do you need to talk with someone? Do you need to connect with a counselor or a coach, or a spiritual mentor, or maybe talking to a friend, right? So don't feel like this is something that you have to do alone or in solitude, but it is really important to just be mindful of what is showing up for you emotionally, and in what ways do you need support, or in what ways do you need to just make some changes or adjustments. Are you avoiding your emotions? Are they coming crashing down, right? Like, so these are things to just be mindful of, and doing some shadow work can be helpful here if needed. But just identifying, like, what is showing up, where does it stem from, throughout the course of the winter season will be very beneficial for you. So that was the bonus card. Let me know, what was your biggest takeaway from the messages today? What stuck out to you the most? Let me know. And let's see, is anyone interested in receiving a reading? I will do maybe one or two. No, three is my max. Depends on how long it takes me to do the reading. If you are interested, just put, if you want general, or if you have a specific question, then just put it in the comments. So if you want general, you can put general. If you don't have a specific question, but you want something around like career, you can put that, or something like that. But yeah, let me know. Making sure to keeping healthy boundaries, and that it's okay to put yourself and your needs first. Yes, I love that. Thank you for sharing. Tell us about the holidays you created. So some of the holidays, one of the things I like to do, one of the first things I started doing is, I started really celebrating certain events that would happen in nature, right? And this is why I started doing, every season now I will do the collective energy readings for the spring equinox, for winter solstice, for summer solstice, for fall equinox. I started doing these things. Before, I used to do, if you if you scroll back on my channel, some of the videos I unlisted. I used to do new moon readings every month, and that was another like area that I was always kind of celebrating. But then my perspective has changed, so I don't do that as much anymore. But I do tend to celebrate certain aspects of certain star alignments, and other things that aren't necessarily nature based that I do is when it comes to um, certain days or certain numbers that resonate with me, I will celebrate based on based on numerology. So, for example, one of my numbers is 13. So, whenever there's a day where it lines up where that number is a 13, then that is a day that I celebrate. Um, so, I hope those examples were helpful. Holidays don't have to be something that only happens um, annually. They can happen more than once a year. They can happen on a monthly basis. So if you're at that point where you're considering creating some things that you want to celebrate, see what comes up for you. Um, are there certain people that you want to celebrate, and or certain events that have happened in your life? So, for another example of that would be like my lock journey. Later this month, I will be celebrating an anniversary for that, and that becomes that's a whole experience that I create based off of that. So I feel like the more that you take certain events or experiences that have happened in your life and you honor that in a way, um, you honor that on a regular basis, whether that's monthly, quarterly, or if it is annually, then the more time, like time changes when you do that. At least that was my experience. Um, yeah, time, like the Gregorian calendar, which is what we operate in this dimension and the third dimension on this planet of Earth. It doesn't make sense. That's why I stopped celebrating. I used to celebrate New Year's. I didn't grow up celebrating Christmas, but we did celebrate Kwanzaa every other year, and then we celebrated the New Year's. And so I was like, once things started shifted for me within my personal growth journey, my spiritual journey, it didn't make sense to celebrate the New Year's. Like, there's nothing new about what's happening on January 1st or December 31st going to January 1st, except for it's the first day of the month. It's like not the beginning of winter, because that's Winter Solstice, which is on the, that's happening in a couple of weeks. So that doesn't make sense. It's just weird. It's a weird time to celebrate. I was like, and then when I looked in the history of it, I was like, this doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me. The zodiac signs don't line up. The first Capricorn is not the first zodiac sign, and the Capricorn doesn't even start on the 1st of January. There's no actual firsts that align with nature for the new year. It makes no sense. I did a podcast called "Spring is the Real New Year." I'll be sure to post that in the comments, in the description of this after this, when the replay is posted. That was a whole lot that I just said. Oh, that was a whole lot. It resonates. I promised myself I would stop overspending, then find myself finding a reason to shop. Yeah. So that's where like this underlying card of the Queen of Cups will come in of like, okay, like where is this stemming from? Where is it stemming from, and like where's the direction that I want to take? So it's a great time to kind of do a self check-in. Thanks for sharing that. Being realistic about it based on where you're at, because girl is different. It's a different world out here. Exactly. Yeah, that part is a game changer. It really is, because what I've learned is that people say things based off what they hope to do, not what they're actually willing to do or what they have the capacity for. I've learned that over my years of being a coach and a personal trainer and a spiritual mentor. Like, that's what people do. They say what they want to, like, they're hoping to do this, that like that's the end goal, but like that's not the starting point, ma'am or sir or person. Like, that is not it. So can we just dial it back? Yeah. And sometimes even based off of like, we will take something that we did in the past. It's like, oh, well, back then I had all this, this is how I did it back then. But like, you're not the same person you were 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago. You don't have the capacity that you have. You don't have the energy that you have. that you had then. You don't have the time that you had then. Like the time that you were doing all that stuff 2, 3 years ago, did you have kids then? Or did you have this job that is more demanding of your time? Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, everything resonates. I'm just using a job that I hate to get where I want to, using a job that I hate to get where I want to be. So it's frustrating, but I'm motivated. Yes, come on, that's the turning point. Listen, be in gratitude for that job because it's funding your future. It's funding your transition to something better. Yes. So I feel you on that. But yeah, be in gratitude for that job every day. It's like, you know what, this job is funding my transition out of here and into something better. Thank you for this. And the more gratitude you have for it, the quicker the opportunities is going to come for you to get out of that position. That feels more special and unique to the people involved. Definitely. Yes, I celebrate my lock and vegan anniversary, which is January 1st. Oh, awesome. And I'm coming up on 5 years. That is great. Happy lock and vegan anniversary. Yeah, I also celebrate my vegan anniversary. Yeah, that's always a fun time. So that's awesome. All right, let me see if there are any other comments about the readings. And then I think somebody mentioned a reading. Let me scroll. All right, now we're going to go into it. Continue to share if there's any other reflections or comments or insights that you have that you want to share, or any questions specifically about the collective energy reading. Let me know. I'm about to go into a couple of live readings here. Let me see. Okay. Shauna. General but career focus. Okay. All right, let's see. Okay. Just tuning in to see what deck. So we're going to use tarot with you. Maybe might pull an oracle card too. All right. General. All right, let's see what's coming up for you. Oof. Okay. Let me tell you. Y'all saw me shuffle this deck. Y'all saw me shuffle this deck. Right? Y'all saw me do it. I took the cards. Listen. Not two of the cards from the from the from the collective energy reading showing up for you in listen, these cards jumped out so quick in this order. And I put these cards in two different areas of the deck and shuffled. Y'all saw me shuffle this deck. But this is, listen, the universe is petty. The ancestors be out here. But one of the things to be mindful of, if you're not that familiar with tarot, and so there's certain meanings, but depending on the question and how it shows up for a person, the meaning can be different. So I just want to keep that in mind. But I just thought this was so funny. But I feel like part of the reason why this came up is because the messages that you got from these two cards are directly applied to your to your career. That's what I'm getting from these two. Like these two apply to that. specifically when it comes to the savings, this saving and spending and deciding what you're going to do with the money that you do receive, with the opportunity. And it's not just money, it's also opportunities that you receive. And it's time to like establish a new chapter in that so you don't go backwards. And this is where the Ace of Swords comes in. Of it, this is time. The ace is all about like that initial spark, that initial like, okay, here's the idea, but now it's time to take that and form it into action. So you can't just have an idea of what you should do and then don't follow through with the idea. Make the decision. You can, an idea versus a decision is different. Don't just have the idea of what you could, should, might do. Make the decision. Make the decision. Decide. Like by the end of, like, I'm going to have this done by the end of this time. Like, set a time frame around something. And this doesn't mean that you're going to reach, like, make that perfect timeline, but this gives you something tangible to work with. I feel like you need more structure. You need more you need a construct around your, like, a timeline. You need something that you're aiming towards. Because if you feel like you're just if you're just having all these ideas and you're not actually setting certain things into place, and you don't have a timeline for it, then it's just going to be in the air. The ideas, swords are, this is the element that represents air and the mind. Okay. So your thoughts, your decisions. And so all I see is, like, you have all these ideas and ain't doing shit with them. You are not taking that down. Now, mind you, let's see how do these cards interact? We have air and we have earth. You need to ground your ideas into an earth element. That's where the decision comes in. That's where air and earth meet in the decision. That's how earth, that is how you take that thought and start to put it into action in the mind. It's like, okay, this is what I'm deciding to do. Then you need to start planning out what needs to happen in order for that decision that you've made in order to support that decision. That's where these two things come in. And even here, let's look at this, because this card was first. You have an idea. You ground it into a decision that you want to make about your career. You have let's imagine all of these pentacles are all opportunities or ideas that you have, or ways that you can go about doing it. Then you assess and you break it down a bit more. It's like, you know what, based off of all this stuff, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And then this is what you have remaining. It's like, okay, this is what I'm going to take and I'm going to do something with this. This is what I have the capacity for in this season of my life right now to do. So, and let me know if this is resonating. Hold on, let me look at the comments. I'm putting up a vision board ASAP with the timeline. Yeah. And keep your vision boards, like, yeah, maybe, having a seasonal vision board. If vision boards are your jam, maybe you're doing one specifically for winter, or maybe it's every 6 months, like for winter and spring, right? Because I almost feel like a year is too long. It feels too long for you for certain things. Or breaking down your vision board to where you have like the year goal, but then you have it where, okay, this is my focus for the winter, this is my focus for spring, or this first 6 months, like, this is what I'm focusing on. And then, I don't know, like, you change like the bottom half, or you have one section that's like, this is my year vision, my annual vision or whatever, and then this and then you have maybe some areas on your vision board for each season. That'd be a fun, like a vision board party. Oh my gosh, that'd be so much fun. But you see what makes you see what I'm saying? Like you need some more. You need more structure around it. What is your? Are you an air? What's your sign? Are you an air sign, fire, earth? What you got going on? Why do I see a lot of just air around you? I don't know if that's maybe it's if it's in a rising sign or maybe it's somewhere else in your chart where this air definitely keeps you like just just out there, and it's time to like bring it down. Yes. Okay, you like breaking it down. You're a Scorpio. Do you know your moon or your rising? I'm curious about your rising. Are you familiar with that? If not, that's okay. Because I feel like because this is how the where the Scorpio can benefit you is once you actually have the structure and it's and you have a shorter time frame in which to implement the things, then you'll go into action. You'll go into the deep work. That's where that Scorpio kicks in. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Because I'm like, but for you, it's about getting to that point. It's getting to how to go about taking the action. And this applies with your career, this decision that you want to make, what you're doing at your job right now, and the direction that you want to take moving forward. Moon in Pisces. And you have a stellium in your third house. Interesting. Man, that Pisces, man. That Pisces, man. Woo. All right. So let me know, did that resonate for you? How are you feeling about what came up for you? Yeah, the Pisces can keep you floating too. Keep that, can keep you in that like the ideas of things. It's great to like it's almost like a fantasy world of the things you could do, all the things, all the things, all the things, but it's like no, like now what? Like let's bring that let's bring it down. Let's break it down, break it down, break it down. I hope that resonated with you. It did great. Yeah, let me see. Does anybody else? I'll probably do one, maybe two more readings. I'll do one more reading. One more. My pleasure. Let me see. Let me scroll. Anyone else? I think that was it, huh? I don't see anyone else. I'll give it a few more moments to see. Anyone else wants a reading? If not, that is perfectly fine too. And listen, if you haven't liked this video, be sure to do that. If you're not subscribed, be sure to subscribe to this channel. If you think that this message will benefit someone that that you know, please do share. As far as getting in contact with me, you can connect with me. I'm Ujo Wajet on all social media platforms. You can find me there. I am most active on, well, it depends. I'm most active in my stories on Instagram. I'm on TikTok as well, but I mostly post my snakes there. If you like snakes, then you can find me on TikTok, Ujo Wajet. If you want to get, I do post events. So whenever I do a live stream, I also post it as an event on Facebook. So you can follow my Facebook business page. All the links, my main links are in my link tree, and that is in the description of this video. Okay, a general reading. All right, so this will be my last reading for the evening. Let's see. Ooh, I'm hearing nature speak. Let's see. And I would encourage y'all, if any of you pull cards, you know, what cards come up for you for the season? Okay, let's see. I'm seeing a lot of water around you. Seeing a lot of water. I'm seeing like flowing water, like waterfall, but I'm also seeing like these collecting water and then emptying the water. So I almost feel like there's this this almost like the flow of water, but also like releasing, like it's almost like flushing things out in a way. Like it's flushing things out. So I don't know if you're doing like a detox or a cleanse or something, or if you are just releasing some things emotionally, or maybe that is something that might be coming up for you for this season for winter, or maybe even with this full moon, there might be some things coming up, and it's an opportunity for you to like release those things, like allow, but also a form of like flow. Just allow, like, what it in what direction is the current moving? Are you resisting that current, or are you letting it carry you? And this is an opportunity for you to allow it to carry you. Allow it to carry you. Ooh. Now, come on now. I was seeing water, swamp, face your fears. So it's interesting that this comes up. So this kind of resonates with what I was picking up on. Um, yeah, allow the water to carry you. It's probably taking you right to this swamp so you can deal with the things that you haven't been that you've been resisting dealing with. Yeah. It's like shadow work stuff. But also, I mentioned earlier about self-liberation. It's going to be this is an opportunity for just to experience liberation in a way that you never have before. And yes, it will be terrifying. I can guarantee that. But I promise you, staying where you're at, trying to resist it, is way worse. Both physical and emotional cleansing. At times I resist, but focusing on flowing. Yeah. And flow can take practice. So be in the practice of flow. Don't feel like you have to just automatically be in flow all of a sudden. Like, it can take work, and it's okay for it to take work. It's okay for it to take work. Allow it to carry you just a little bit. Allow yourself to float a little bit, and then maybe you need to stop, right? But allow yourself to build up that endurance to be carried, to just flow with things. Because I promise you, this is where when you can be in the practice of doing that, this doesn't mean that one, because it's not about like relinquishing control. The control is in allowing yourself to trust that things are going to work out for you in the best way possible. Like, all the things that you're wanting, like, sometimes to get to the abundance, you got to swim through the swamp first. And because we're still in this full moon in Gemini, right? So it's both and. On the flip side of that, like, the things that you want, the abundance, sometimes it's going to come with things that you feel like you're not prepared for. It's going to come with those things that it's going to make you uncomfortable. It's not the things that you want the most require you to feel uncomfortable. The things that you want the most and that you desire to experience are going to require you to become different, to change in one way or another, to become more of who you are. You become more of that by letting go of what's no longer serving you. Yeah. I mean, and this goes back, and the scared part is like, okay, well, what am I like? What part of you is scared? It's probably the part of you that's going to be shedding is the word. The part of you, that old construct that you're shedding is scared because a death is about to occur. Does that make sense? It's the transition. So you have every right. I actually highly encourage you to mourn that death, mourn that shedding of the old self, so you can become that new version of yourself. It's very in alignment with snakes, by the way. Right? This shedding. It's like, man, it's just like if you just allow, if you just recognize, like, oof, that part of me that's scared is the part that's about to die. Because it is a death. It is a transition. But it's not a death that's going to end. It's just a construct. It's an aspect of yourself that's shedding and that you're letting go. We do that like regularly. But when that shows up for you in a major way, like that's what's happening. That's where the fear is coming from. Honor that. Lean into that. It's like, you know what? I understand the fear. I understand why you're scared. But then also look at what's exciting about it. What's on the other end that maybe you can be inspired by, inspired to discover who you are on the other side of it. Because the unknown is constant. There's always going to be the unknown. The only way to get to the unknown is to shed, to release, to face your fears. I hope that was helpful. Yes, remember I said I was, oh yes, you did say you were ready for shadow work. Well, 'tis the season, friend. 'Tis the season. It makes sense. Yes. It goes back into the question of what's your name and who you are. What is your name versus who you are? Like, my name is blank versus I am blank. Sometimes we have a lot associated with our name versus who we are as like these non-physical infinite beings. And that is what's requiring you to shed. You have to shed this aspect of the my name is, which is connected to the physical form, so you can become more of the I am. Yes. Ooh, this is one of my favorite cards of this deck. It really is. All right. So that is the end. That concludes my Winter Solstice collective energy readings. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you're catching the replay, thank you for making it this far. And be sure to share in the comments what resonated with you, and connect with me on other platforms. I'm Ujo Wajet on all the platforms: TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. I'm most active on YouTube and Instagram. And then if you want to see all of my snakes, even though I'm starting to post some more things on TikTok, you can find me on those platforms. And of course, I have plethora of resources here on my YouTube channel. So if you have not subscribed already, be sure to do that. Enjoy the rest of your full moon. And if you're watching this after the full moon, you're still in that energy for about 2 or 3 more days. And enjoy your winter solstice. And I will see y'all on the next one.